Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to hold a little sentence workshop. We're rolling up our sleeves to look at the real nuts and bolts of how great sentences get built. We're going to see how to take something simple and turn it into something, well, a lot more powerful. Okay, let's get into it. So let's start right here with this super simple foundation. Stella was sleeping. I mean, it works, right? It gets the job done. It tells us a basic fact, but that's all it is. It's kind of boring. It's just a starting block. We want to take this and build something way more interesting on top of it. Okay, now look at this. In the room, Stella was sleeping soundly. Bam! Instantly, the picture in your head gets way clearer. We know where she is, in the room, and we know how she's sleeping, soundly. This right here is the power we're about to unlock today, using these simple tools to add so much more depth and detail to your writing. So, here's our game plan for the workshop. We're going to start with the basic building blocks, then we'll meet the clauses themselves. After that, we'll dive into their different types, learn about the conjunctions that glue them together, and see how punctuation acts as our guide. And then we'll put it all together and build a sentence from scratch. All right, first things first, we've got to lay the foundation. The secret to leveling up your writing, to making it more sophisticated, it really comes down to understanding one specific structure. And that big idea is the complex sentence. All it is a sentence with one main clause, that's the independent one, and at least one dependent clause. Now, a clause is just a fancy word for a group of words that has a subject, who or what is doing the thing, and a predicate, which is basically the verb and everything that follows. Just think of it like this. A main clause is a complete thought, and a dependent clause is an incomplete one that needs a little help. So let's get to know our main characters here. I always like to think of them as a hero and a sidekick. One of them is strong, can stand all on its own, and the other one is a helper, always adding extra info and support. And this chart, it breaks it down perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the main clause. I am going to read a book. That feels complete, right? It could be its own sentence. But now look at the dependent clause on the right. When I get home. See how that just hangs there? It leaves you waiting, asking, okay, what happens when you get home? It depends on the main clause to make any sense. Okay, so our trusty sidekick, the dependent clause, actually comes in a few different flavors. Each one has a very specific job to do, adding different kinds of detail. First up, we have the adverbial clause. Think of this one as the reporter clause. Its job is to answer those key questions: when, where, how, or why something happened. So in our example, after school answers the question, when did we go to the bookstore? It adds that extra layer of time context to the main action. Next, we've got the relative clause. I like to think of this as a little tell me more tag that you can stick onto a noun to describe it better. So here, the clause, who was 20 minutes early, gives us a cool extra detail about Mia. The main sentence, Mia brought snacks for everyone, works just fine on its own, but that little clause just makes it better, right? And last but not least, the noun clause. Now this one can be a little tricky, so stick with me. It's a whole group of words that actually pretends to be a single noun. It can be the subject or the object of a sentence. In this example, that entire phrase, that hard work pays off, is all part of the subject. Let's break that down on the next slide. It'll make more sense. So see how this works? The whole phrase, his belief that hard work pays off, that entire chunk is acting as the subject, and the predicate is inspiring. So that whole group of words is really functioning as one single idea, just like a noun would. All right, so we've got our building blocks, our clauses. But how do we actually, stick them together? For that, we need special tools, and those tools are called conjunctions. Now, to connect two main clauses, two of those strong, independent ideas, we use a very special group of connectors, and there's this fantastic little acronym to help you remember them. You just have to meet the FANBOYS. And here they are: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. FANBOYS. These guys are called coordinating conjunctions, and their main job is to build a bridge between two equally strong and independent ideas. But just having connectors isn't the whole story. You also need to guide your reader. You need to tell them when to pause, when to stop completely, and how different ideas are connected. You need road signs, and that's exactly what punctuation is for. So think of these as your main traffic signals. A period is a big red stop sign. The sentence is over. End of story. A comma is like a yield sign, telling your reader to take a quick pause. And the semicolon? It's a special kind of stop that connects two very closely related main clauses without even needing a FANBOYS conjunction. Getting these right is absolutely crucial for making your writing smooth and easy to read. Okay, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and actually build something. It's time to put everything we've learned into practice in our little sentence building workshop. So let's walk through this, step by step. Step 1, start with a simple main clause. Sky was so excited. Easy enough. Step 2, pick a connector. We want to explain why she's excited, so because is the perfect choice. Step 3, add that reason in a dependent clause. She wants to get a slice of the cake. And finally, step 4, put it all together. Sky was so excited because she wants to get a slice of the cake. And just like that, you've built a much more interesting, complex sentence. See how easy that was? And hey, to make this even easier for you, think of this list as your personal toolkit. These are some of the most common subordinating conjunctions. Those are the words that kick off a dependent clause. We just used because, but look at all the others. While, when, though. Each one creates a totally different relationship between your ideas. Keep these words in your back pocket when you're writing. They are the secret to creating detail and variety. As we finish up, I want to leave you with this amazing quote from Mark Twain. Because building better sentences isn't just about following grammar rules. It's about finding the perfect words and the perfect structure to say exactly what you mean with precision and with power. So here's the bottom line. You now have the tools in your toolbox. You know the building blocks, you know the connectors, and you know the road signs. The only question left is, what powerful sentence are you going to build next?
Thanks for joining me in the workshop today.